Hello everyone. In this presentation I will be explaining on the concept of principle of operation of DC motor. So DC motor is nothing but a device which is going to convert an electrical input power into a mechanical output power. So input what you are going to apply for a motor or a machine will be electrical in nature, whereas the output which is going to be produced from the motor or a device will be mechanical. Or in other terms I can just tell motor is nothing but a device which is going to convert an electrical power to mechanical power. So input is electrical over here, whereas output is mechanical power. Whereas in case of generator, the input what we have applied was in terms of mechanical power and output obtained was electrical power. So both are opposite in nature. So if I want to explain the operating principle of an electric motor in terms of a DC motor, so the main operating principle is based upon the Faraday's law, which states that whenever a current carrying a conductor is placed in a magnetic field or an electromagnetic field, it experiences the mechanical force which tends to rotate it. So if I want to explain this particular principle of operation of a DC motor with the help of a circuit diagram, I have just drawn here the circuit diagram pertaining to the current carrying conductor as well as a magnetic field, and we are supposed to find out how it experiences the mechanical force in it. So if you consider this particular circuit diagram, so yellow colored one, this rectangular block what you are seeing, it is nothing but a conductor. So if I want to make a conductor like current carrying conductor, I need to connect a battery. So I have used a battery over here, the DC supply, plus and minus, positive and negative power supply. So if I am connecting this particular conductor through a battery, now this particular red colored circuit, the completed one what you are seeing, it is nothing but a closed loop or a closed circuit. So obviously it will carry a current in it. So this entire thing, that is conductor along with this DC supply, is going to behave like a current carrying conductor. Now how do I place this particular current carrying conductor in a magnetic field? In order to produce a magnetic field, or in order to generate an electromagnetic field, I have made use of an electromagnet over here. So you can see here North Pole as well as South Pole. So I have made use of an iron core and I have wound copper wire on top of that. So which is going to be called as a field winding. So whenever you are going to excite this field winding with a DC supply, obviously it is having a flow of current over here. So now, in order to generate an electromagnetic field, we are supposed to make use of electromagnets, and we are wounding a copper wire on it, and hence the current start to flow through the winding, as a result of which an electromagnetic field is going to generate flux. So if you consider this particular diagram, this entire thing what you are going to see, it is comprising of an electromagnetic circuit, and whatever the circuit I have drawn in yellow color, red color, it represents a current carrying conductor. So now I have placed a current carrying conductor in the magnetic field. So since it is having north as well as south pole, the direction of the flux lines will be in the form of north direction to the south direction. So the arrow is facing downwards over here. So in this particular diagram, if I want to take into consideration the concept of flux, mainly or basically there are two distinct fluxes which are active in this. One, we call it as a main flux. Main flux is nothing but the flux which is produced by this particular electromagnet, and it is termed as a main flux. And another flux is due to the current carrying conductor. So whatever the flux is produced by the current carrying conductor, it is one flux. This main flux which is produced by an electromagnet is the another flux. So there is a contribution of two distinct types of fluxes over here. So whenever there is an interaction of two distinct type of fluxes, so there will be some effect what we are going to study further. So usually whenever a current carrying conductor, So here I have stated two distinct rules. One is right hand thumb rule, another one is Fleming's left hand rule. First let me concentrate upon this right hand thumb rule. So now you understood the concept of how to make a conductor carry a current, that is just by connecting it to the DC supply or a battery. It will become a current carrying conductor which is having a flux produced in it. And another type of thing is over here what we discussed is nothing but magnetic field, how we are going to have a production of magnetic field. So that is in terms of an electromagnet usage, wherein I have used iron core and I have wound a copper wire on it, and this acts like a field winding, and we are going to provide it with an external DC supply, and it is excited, and hence there will be a flux produced by an electromagnet, so which is termed as a main flux. So I told there will be two distinct types of fluxes which will be interacting with each other. So from the right hand thumb rule we have this particular statement, like whenever a conductor carries a current, magnetic field is developed around the conductor, which will be in concentric circular form. If you see these two diagrams, so you are going to consider your right hand. So you are going to position your right hand in this particular manner, wherein your thumb is going to face the direction of the current. Thumb is going to show us the direction of the current, whereas the curls of your other remaining four fingers, it is going to determine the direction of the magnetic field. Same way, now the current carrying conductor is nothing but this one. So this particular current carrying conductor will be producing an electromagnetic field around it, which will be in a concentric circular form. So I have to determine the direction of that particular electromagnetic field, means I have to apply the concept of right hand thumb rule, which I will be explaining in detail in the next slide. So that is regarding right hand thumb rule. In order to determine the direction of the electromagnetic field which is produced by this particular current carrying conductor. And once I am having a contribution from the fluxes, like your flux contributed from the current carrying conductor, as well as the flux which is the contribution from this particular magnetic field, which we call it as the main flux. So there will be interaction of two fluxes. So the interaction between the two fluxes may be like the direction of the flux may be in a same direction, or it may be in a different direction. If it is in same direction, it will get added up. If it is in different direction, it will get cancelled out. So depending upon that, depending upon the direction of the flux, whether it is in the same direction or it is in the different direction, the entire contribution of the fluxes, that is two fluxes, whatever they are interacting, they are no longer parallel to each other, they will get distorted. So hence what happens, we know that flux is nothing but the lines of force. Whenever you have a distortion in the flux which is not parallel exactly, which is not in a parallel nature or parallel form, so obviously there will be some kind of distraction or distortion. So due to the distortion in the flux, there will be distortions in the lines of force. Whenever there is a distortion in the line of force, obviously there will be some kind of pressure involved in this particular magnetic field, or whatever I call it as pressure will be induced, or force will be present in, or force will be experienced by this particular current carrying conductor. So in order to determine the direction of that particular force, so in which direction I am going to have the consideration of the force, for that purpose I am making use of Fleming's left hand rule. So Fleming's left hand rule, hope all of you remember it, which you have studied in your lower classes. So it means that whenever you are having stretched, or whenever you are stretching your left hand in this particular manner, the thumb, forefinger as well as middle finger, each of them separated by an angle of 90 degrees, your thumb of the left hand is going to point, or is going to direct the force, whereas forefinger is going to give us the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger is going to state us the direction of the current. So in order to determine the direction of the force, I can make use of a concept of Fleming's left hand rule. So basically the operating principle of this motor, that is DC motor, is operating basically on the principle of Faraday's law, which is nothing but whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a mechanical force which tends to rotate it. So this is the basic principle. Apart from this particular principle, in order to determine the direction of the magnetic field which is produced by this particular current carrying conductor, as well as the direction of the force, which is nothing but due to the distortion of the flux, that is due to the distortion of flux in the sense which is not or no longer parallel in nature, I have to determine what is the direction of the force. So in order to determine the direction of the force, I will be making use of Fleming's left hand rule. In order to determine the direction of the electromagnetic field which is developed around the current carrying conductor, I will be making use of this right hand thumb rule. So apart from the apart from the Faraday's rule, we are going to use the right hand thumb rule as well as Fleming's left hand rule in order to explain the operating principle of this electric DC motor. So now let me explain you the concept of this, taking further diagrams so that it will be much more clear for you. So if you see this particular first diagram, what I have named it as conductor in a magnetic field. So as simple what I have explained in my first slide. So here the circle, the round block, what you can see, it is nothing but a conductor. So I am having a conductor as such, and then I am going to have a magnetic field. How I am going to create a magnetic field? I am going to consider an electromagnet. So here I have considered this as a south pole and this as a north pole. So these are the iron cores what we have. So this will be behaving like a magnet over here. So since it is a magnet, if I am having a iron core on top of which we are going to wind it by making use of a copper wire, obviously it is going to behave like a field winding, and if I am exciting that particular field winding with the help of a DC source, obviously it will be generating an electromagnetic field. So the direction of the electromagnetic field is given by this particular thing, that is the flux which is produced by the electromagnetic field, that is from north pole to south pole direction. So it is from bottom to top. So you can see this particular direction. Always it is from north to south itself. So this is the basic what I need. One, I need a conductor, and another thing is I need a electromagnetic field. So what is our principle of Faraday's law? Whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in an electromagnetic field, I have a conductor now. How to make it as a current carrying conductor? I have already told you. You have to just make a connection of this conductor with the help of a battery, which will be behaving like a closed circuit, and now it will be behaving like a current carrying conductor. Assume that we have done that. So I am having a conductor now. So you can see that plus mark. So this plus mark what you are seeing, it means that I am going to consider the current is away from an observer, or it is going in. So going in means it will be represented by using plus or cross mark. If the current is coming out, it is represented by using a dot mark. So this is now represented as plus or a cross mark. So it is going in. So it is away from the observer. I am assuming that this particular direction of the current is going away from the observer. So I am having now current carrying conductor. So assume that we have a conductor which has been provided with the battery and it is behaving like a closed circuit, and current is carried in that particular conductor now. So that is nothing but represented by using this particular cross mark. So now what happens? I have a magnetic field. So south as well as north pole, it is nothing but a magnet. We have a current carrying conductor. So according to the right hand thumb rule, what I stated in the previous slide, it is nothing but whenever a conductor carries a current, an electromagnetic field is developed around the conductor. So here current carrying conductor is there. So around the conductor, around the current carrying conductor, there will be an electromagnetic field developed. So this electromagnetic field developed will be concentric circular form. So now whenever there is an electromagnetic field generated, I am supposed to find out the direction of the electromagnetic field or flux. So now in order to determine the direction of that particular electromagnetic field, I am supposed to apply the concept of right hand thumb rule. So you are going to use your right hand something like this, position your right hand like this. So thumb is going to point the direction of the current, whereas the curl, the remaining fingers which it is forming like a curl, it is going to determine the direction of the magnetic field. So if you see in this, the upward direction is nothing but thumb is focusing up direction. So this particular direction is facing towards the current, whereas these curls are representing the direction of the magnetic field. So it is hold like this, it is held like this. So you are having the direction of the magnetic field like this in the clockwise direction. So now if I change the position of my right hand something like this down, thumb is pointing towards down. So this particular direction indicates the direction of the current, whereas the curls are facing here now, this side, which means that the direction of the magnetic field is like this. So you can see the arrow mark. So the fingers represent the other finger, four fingers, curls, or in other terms I can call it as, it represents the direction of the magnetic field. Here also the curls, so it is focusing towards this side. So if you consider it in a circular manner, so this represents the direction of the magnetic field. In a similar manner, now here the current is going away from the observer, which is nothing but it is going in. So if I consider this as going in, current is going away from the observer. So if I consider it in this particular manner, it is not coming out, it is going in. So the direction of the magnetic field is something like this. So it has to take this particular direction arrow and it has to come like this. So that's why you can see here this much direction it is top, and then it is taking this particular direction, that is bottom. So it is exactly resembling this way. So this is the direction of the flux which is produced by the current carrying conductor. So now I am having the flux, two distinct type of flux. One is called as a main flux, which is nothing but the contribution from an electromagnet, whereas the second one is the flux, which is nothing but the contribution from the current carrying conductor. So you can see there are two distinct types of fluxes. One is called as main flux, another one is flux by the current carrying conductor. So whenever this main flux and flux carried by the current carrying conductor, flux by the current carrying conductor, both of them interact with each other. So this is nothing but third diagram represent the interaction of the two fluxes, means all these two diagrams are combined in this third one. So I am having this diagram also, say south pole and north pole, and this is the electromagnetic field lines. You can see it is flux lines, direction from north towards the south pole. Then I am having a conductor, so you can see this cross mark conductor. Along with that, the boundaries, you can see the electromagnetic field developed by the current carrying conductor, and have marked the direction of that current carrying conductor flux also. So you have a contribution from both the fluxes in this particular diagram. So if you see this towards the left side of the conductor, so towards the left side of the conductor and towards the right side of the conductor, if you see, if you compare, the direction is not same. So towards the left side, if you see, the direction of the main flux as well as the direction of the flux by the current carrying conductor, both are in the similar direction, which means that both of the fluxes will get added up together since both of them are in the similar direction. But if you see the right side of the conductor, the direction of the main flux is focusing from north to south, whereas the direction of the flux by the current carrying conductor is focusing from south towards the north. So both the directions are opposite in nature. Whenever both directions are opposite in nature, chances are there they may get cancelled out if they are same in magnitude. So now I am having addition of flux also, I am having cancellation of flux also. So obviously when the flux is getting distorted, obviously the lines of forces are nothing but flux. So now whenever you are not having a flux line which is parallel in nature, obviously it is distorted. So there is some pressure or there is some force which is acting upon the current carrying conductor. So that particular direction of the force, we are going to determine it by making use of Fleming's left hand rule. So now the final diagram which I am having, it indicates that towards the left hand side of the conductor, the flux will get added up. So there is a gathering of flux over here, or in other terms it will be called as a high flux density area. So since there is a gathering of flux, we call it as a high flux density area. Whereas if you see towards the right hand side of a conductor, there is a minimum lines of flux what you can see. So which we call it as weakening of flux, or in other terms it is called as low density flux or low flux density area. So this side we call it as low flux density area, this side we call it as high flux density area. So this represents the cancellation of flux, because both of them are in the opposite direction. So some of the fluxes will get cancelled out and it is called as weakening of the flux. So whenever there is a distortion, obviously there is some force acting upon that. So in order to determine the direction of the force, we are making use of Fleming's left hand rule. So from the Fleming's left hand rule, we know that the thumb points the direction of the force, whereas forefinger points the direction of the magnetic field, and middle finger points the direction of the current. So depending upon that, we are going to determine what is the direction of the force. So now that particular force, whatever is experienced by the current carrying conductor, is given by an equation F is equal to BIL Newton. F is equal to BIL newtons. So where F is nothing but force which is experienced by the current carrying conductor, B is nothing but the magnetic flux density which is produced due to the field winding. So that I value, whatever the I parameter you are going to see over here, it is nothing but the magnitude of the current through the conductor. So magnitude of this current through the conductor, we are designating it by a parameter I, and L represents the length of the conductor. So this is how you are going to determine the force experienced by the current carrying conductor, and in order to determine the direction of the force, you are making use of a Fleming's left hand rule. So this was regarding the concept of working principle of DC motor. So in this particular presentation, we have seen what is meant by motor. That is, it is nothing but an device which is or a machine which is going to convert an electrical power into mechanical power. So it is mainly based upon Faraday's law, which is nothing but whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in an electromagnetic field, is going to experience a mechanical force. So apart from Faraday's law, two more important laws or rules what you are going to remember over here is, one is the right hand thumb rule in order to determine the direction of the magnetic field which is produced by the current carrying conductor, and second one is Fleming's left hand rule in order to determine the direction of the force or motion of the conductor. So hope you understood the concept, that is working principle of DC motor. Thank you for listening.